give me a coin, yeah? So, better to take the coin. Because it's not going to come back. Can someone? The right side to me are going to oppose the motion. So the way we'll start, the rounds are there, so the rules will be introduced as we go. The participants are aware of the So the first round is proposing and opposing one after another. Time is 1.5 minutes. Who is giving the time? Me? Oh no, there is one. Alright, so for the opponent side, you want the first person.
Which side of the hello?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 10th RST. Thank you for having this debate. I'm speaking for the motion. So let's begin.
Let the timer begin.
So let me begin with a simple truth. Every breakthrough that we celebrate today once began as somebody's failure. What is failure? Should we say it's the opposite of success? Absolutely not. I don't think that it is. It's when the results defy the expectations but still deepens our understanding. So let me talk with an example. We know about the model of an atom by J.J. Thomson, and then came Rutherford, and then came Niels Bohr. J.J. Thomson gave a plum and pudding model of an atom, which was then modified by Rutherford into saying that the positive charges in the nucleus, the concept of nucleus came into being, and then finally Niels Bohr gave us the concept of electron cloud. Anyways, point is J.J. Thomson was not a failure, and neither is Rutherford. They are all celebrated scientists. So by celebration, we don't mean balloons and cake for every watched experiment. It is acknowledging, valuing, and learning rather than hiding into shame. The fear of failure breeds silence, and we must not silence the researchers. Honesty is very important. We must honor the resilience to continue, the courage to continue. Celebration converts frustration into reflection and embarrassment into energy. It tells that researchers your effort mattered no matter what. So should failure in research be celebrated? Yes, because celebration here is not about rewarding mistakes, it's about rewarding the integrity, persistence and courage. Thank you.
Thank you. Alright, so there are quite strong points there. So we'll hear from the next.
Okay, hi everyone, good evening. Today I will talk against should we celebrate the failure or not in research. So let me explain to you what failure means in research. Failure means what we have intended to achieve the result, but we have failed. But should we celebrate? No, celebrate should not be celebrated. From that failure we can learn, we should learn, and from enormous practice and enormous set of exams, then we should achieve a goal. So we should not celebrate the failure. If we celebrate the failure, then we are actually celebrating the loss. We are not intended to do so. Okay, and also that World Economic Forum explains that failure is useful only when it leads to structured learning and improvement. Also, talent culture also wants that celebrating failure without reflection can normalize mediocrity. It makes people believe that trying even without planning on care is enough. And also we should keep in mind that in research funding is most important thing, and from where this funding is coming from. So we should think funding is nothing but it is a public property. Actually, the public is paying their taxes and we are actually accessing that taxes. So we should not waste that money, because that money comes from very hard people and they actually earn very hardly. So we should respect them and we should learn from failure. We should not celebrate, but we should move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you, sir.
Please start the time.
So hi, I'm Shaheen. So respected judges, faculty, fellow researcher. So my colleague Sukanya has beautifully set the stage why celebrating failure in research really matters. Now I would like to back that up with some real examples. Like we all know about penicillin, right? So it is discovered by accident by Alexander Fleming, which is the first antibiotic in the world which saved millions of lives. And how he got to that point? He forgot to cover his bacterial petri dish, which led to his discovery. I can put it even more. We all know about Teflon, right? How do we get Teflon? Teflon was a failed attempt to make a refrigerant gas. Now, if they don't do that, we would not know Teflon, which became today a household name. So, let me now give you some actual data. So, 2019 Nature study actually estimated that up to 90% research failures at some stage. What does this mean? It means that if we don't celebrate and share those lessons, we actually might hide some of the real science. Stanford University and MIT host failure meeting. Now what does this mean? Now this failure meeting can be reported to have a reduced 20 to 30% higher data transparency. Now there is a peer-reviewed journal from 2002, a journal called a Journal of Negative Result in Biomedicine, published well-documented failures. So judges, when we say the celebrate failure, we are not lowering the standard. We are just saying that there should be some courage to be transparent. Okay. So the famous quote that says from Thomas Edison that I have not failed, I just have found 10,000 ways that don't work. So in science, failure is a training ground and we cannot discard the training ground. We must stand on it. Thank you.
I think failure and unwanted success or unexpected success, that boundary is getting extra. Alright, so something that I would like to tell you. You want to go on, yeah. Your opinion.
What we avoid is, like my opponent said, that failure leads to, failure should be celebrated. But one thing they miss is nothing is like humans conduct research, not robots. And we all have a human tendency that cannot be ignored. Like all utopian fascination will disappear in thin air, but nothing is above human tendency. So if we start celebrating failure randomly without any consideration indifferently, then first it can lead to complacency and incompetence. Like if you are celebrating failure can normalize and reward poor decision making or a lack of effort in workplace, and it can decrease motivation and accountability as people may feel less invested in their work. And if mistakes are celebrated and they are not corrected, and the persistent lack of learning from repeated mistake indicates incompetence. I repeat, incompetence, not a willingness to fail. And not all failures are equal. There are intellectual failures that can be excused, but the failure which is out of sheer carelessness should not be celebrated at any time.
let me say a line very clear cut. If every failed experiment brings us one step closer to understanding, then celebrating it is not optional, it is essential. So let me give an example from the life of Bhumika who was an Nobel laureate of Indian American biologist. So if we see his life, he completed his postdoc in 1976 on the physics. But the twist is from 1976 to 1978, he enrolled himself as a graduate student for biology, and he got Nobel Prize completely in the different field like chemistry. That was for invention about the structure, atomic structure, and study of function of cellular particles called ribosome. So in between that, he stepped back. So it was a very courageous statement, and he told in his interview that in between time he had studied plenty of philosophical books, which encouraged him to get the insight that to change the passion. So he celebrated his time properly by introspecting himself. So I think celebrating is not about rewarding these mistakes. It's all about rewarding integrity, persistence, and courage, which can be clearly see about Dr. Bhumika's life. So that's what I want to talk about.
All right. So we have third speaker.
Hello, good evening everyone. With due respect to my panelists and judges, I would like to convey that. Okay, so what is a failure actually? Failure is a very broad term to define anything, right? So sometimes it is due to utter casualness and sometimes it is intelligent, well documented. What about, I think we all know about the thalidomide disaster that took place. That was actually utilized, expected to cure the morning sickness syndrome within the pregnant woman. But what it resulted into? It actually resulted into the defective fetus that is actually nothing but. And we also know we should not forget something that is where the failure comes at the cost of lives. Like in case of medicinal chemistry related research as well as environment related research, we cannot forget the 1986 event, that is Chernobyl disaster. Chernobyl disaster was nothing but a result of utter callousness and utter casualness from the scientific operator who was currently operating at the plant. So what about that? What about failures coming from that? People, lives, lot of money, resources are being wasted, and we should celebrate them with a party? I don't think so. I think we should better think about it before giving a clue.
So we have completed the first round. The gist of the first round is that the left-hand side people, those who have supported, their main objective was that unexpected success has to be awaited. Not everything can be pre-planned. If something can be pre-planned, perhaps that is that can be predicted and something very easy. So for new and challenging things, you have to be patient and allow some failure. The right-hand side, they have pointed out 3 wastes of resources, complacency, and lastly she brought in human life in address. Okay, so these are the 2 extreme points that have been put forward. Now we are going to the second round where you rebut each other's point. So each side gets 1 minute, but one in between the speakers. Where is it? Am I on track? We start on your side. 1 minute.
Okay, so the opposition seems to treat the word celebration as if it means balloons, applause, and carelessness. And that's not what we stand for. Let me clarify it. And we know it, I am sure for it. What we do stand for is by saying that we celebrate failure, we need to acknowledge it, learn from it, and give the respect it deserves. Let me clarify it a bit more. Chandrayaan 2 mission failed, and yes, there was no celebration per se, because they feel that the celebration is all about party. But they did have the courage to speak it out loud. They did have the courage to analyze it. They did have the courage to analyze it and make it better the next time. And then we had Chandrayaan 3, which was a massive success. So what we want to say at the end is we are not glorifying the mistakes. We are just having the courage to try.
She's bringing us back to nuanced position. That's good. Yes.
So, as our opponent says, that failure should not be celebrated with pomp and show and learning should be celebrated. That means she wants to point out that failure should be normalized. There should be an applicable pat on a back. There should not be a show out of it. But the topic which we have been given is celebrated, and celebrated sounds strong. Normalization or normalizing failure and celebrating failure, there is a difference. So our opponent is trying to say that failure should be normalized, but that's not the topic. Normalizing failure and celebrating failure, that's two different things. I repeat, normalizing and celebrating. It's completely different. Celebration is more stronger, like you need to make a show of it. Normalizing means just being there, just having a support or acknowledging that okay, this happens.
Perhaps what they are looking for is an accountability.
We are not against accountability. We are not talking particularly about making a show, cutting a cake or things like that. We are particularly against the stigma. When we say that the particular person or the particular work that didn't work, this put this person in shame. So first they are going to claim in the beginning statement that failure wastes resources. I would say it is the exactly opposite, because hiding the failure actually wastes more. So what do you more prefer? Hiding a failed trial and having more team do the same thing again and again on a waste resources, or publish it just once or celebrate it and make it more transparent and prevent this waste. So I would like to say this celebration is good. Celebration means acceptance, celebration means acknowledgement, it means the positive enforcement, it is the less fear of judgment, and it is causes transparency and closer to a better and improved results. Thank you.
Okay, as
She pointed out that the fear of failure can also lead to unethical practices. That even leads to further failure. So, keep that.
but if we just support them to just try something new, this is not the actual thing. If a scientist, a newcomer in research is trying again and again without any learning process, without any literature review, without any further research, if he just trying and he just failed, and then he enjoyed. Let's say he was intended to discover product B from reactor A, and if he go and gets product C, oh hooray, I got product C. No, this is not a thing, right? And this product C is not his motto, is not his intended. He is not intended to achieve that product C. He actually intended to achieve that product B from that reactor A. So that should not be celebrated. And obviously that failure privately make the success proudly say. Okay, and yes, everything, and failure is accepted. Okay, but don't celebrate this. Learn from failure, keep practice, then achieve your goal.
So celebration, I think it has been greatly misunderstood. There can be two types of celebration. One is the materialistic celebration, which really means a general types of very short time happiness. One is internal celebration, which is associated with the joy. And when you really associated with the joy, then the celebration really means getting deeper clarity and analyzing yourself, finding the mistakes, and then acting upon it. So I don't think celebration is that much bad, but provided it should be followed by the internal pleasure, and that is called joy. That's it.
Hello? So basically the human behavior are prone to rewards. That we all know. That once we get rewards, we are so much satisfied. But what about if we clap for every fail? No one will anyway learn to dance. That is how it is going to. People are spending a lot of money, lot of resources towards achieving a successful result. And what are we are going to give them? What message are we are going to send the budding researcher who are sitting in front of us in the podium, learning to realize how to get succeed? Then we can definitely document failure. We can definitely learn from it. There is no opposition against it. But we should not glorify it. Wherefrom we will then learn how to succeed. Wherefrom it will be coming. Like if we start documenting it, if we start glorifying each and every failure, no one will end up in a successful publication, no one will end up in a successful discovery anytime.
Thank you. We have completed now the second round. Now the third, we are entering the third round. So which is crossfire. Okay, so this is now open. How many minutes we have? 5. Yeah, we changed the time, so that's why I do not remember all the time. So we have 5 minutes. There is no structure anymore, but I would expect tears and polite behavior from everyone. But yeah, go for it. I'll stop you. There are just yeah. So everybody seems to be attacking questioning the definition of failure and success. Even at the last round also we are talking. It's a good thing that already both sides have taken a middle ground. So both sides are converging. So because when you question the definition, then you are actually open to change your point of view or be acceptable. That's fine. Alright, so now we start from here. You feel free anytime to jump in. Let's start from this side.
Here I just want to ask them and they will give answer. If you are saying that failure should not be celebrated, then it creates pressure, what I think, and how would you defend these suicides happening inside our members? Because they think that they are.
So I would like to answer my opponent that see, in this world there is no free lunch. So if you cannot withstand pressure, you actually in every point efforts you have in efforts there lies painstaking pressure. You have to take pressure, and if you cannot, if you just crumble down the pressure, how can you do research? Research demands pressure. You just cannot escape from that. I understand that there are cases of suicide, but for that research community is not responsible. For that, I would say who is responsible, and that stems from childhood. The thing is, when just imagine, like I'm talking about the third world country. Our India is a third world country. So as we first we start our school, when we were at our peak, like we get 95, our parents just okay, where is your 5 marks? That other Shaheen or someone XYZ, he is getting 100. Where is your 5 marks? So you see, by that time their confidence gets beaten down, and then when they reach like at the age of 23 or 22, they start research. how we are going to, like take the responsibility of ourselves. We have to be strong enough, we have to build up mental resilience if we want to do something out of box.
I think the point she made is that we have to be prepared for the society has to prepare us for to accept failure. Let's not be heartless.
That's exactly why celebrating, isn't it?
Exactly. They're actually looking to us.
Our opponent seems to be on our team actually. Anyways, the point is, from Bhumika's statement, I feel that she is meaning to say that women people who are really basic self-confident, crumble under pressure, who need positive reinforcement in the form of celebration, such people, the research is not for such people. By her definition, people like that should die. Because nobody is responsible for them, isn't it?
No, she did not get that. Let's not be so
Well, you cannot twist the question.
She meant that the society has to prepare, but in a way you caught her, but because she is coming towards your side. Yes. Any question from your side?
As my opposition mate says, this suicide case, but please keep in mind that all the suicides are not due to research. Some are for their personal issues are also there. And yes, and not only this,
No one commits suicide out of happiness. There is failure of some kind.
and this only the suicide is not only the solution, right? For that purpose, you have your guide, you have your supervisor. And remember one thing: in campus, you are writing your supervisor as PRO. In our permanent address, our father is we write our father's name as PRO. And within this campus of IMKGB, we write a supervisor name as PRO. So when you are facing this issue, if you face any issue regarding your personal life, regarding your research life, then please talk with your supervisor, because you know the supervisor is, as we say, the supervisor is a friend, philosopher and guide. So when you face your problem, then go to your first friend, supervisor, right? As we say, yeah?
I think a lot of supervisors are present there despite the whole time.
Actually,
No, but you are again coming back to the same point of support system should be there.
Support system should be there.
Supervisor.
Yeah, sure.
support system means that we are going to celebrate and we are going to acknowledge and we are going to make a positive reinforcement. Actually, I would like to make a point here, as the opinion says, that Pratik says that failure should be done in privately, and Flora says that it should be documented. So I think my opponent is actually contradicting themselves, self-contradicting themselves. They are actually losing their point. So I would just ask one question to them, that if we just only going to celebrate the success, the ultimate result, that aren't we just discouraging the very experiment from that the success is going to come, because in experiments we are inevitable to get some sort of failure, okay?
Nobody is asking that you should not get failed. Nobody is saying that you should not get failed. And nobody is here coming and beating up you and treating you like virus or that the joy logo from 3 Idiots that you will be hanging inside the room. But it is asked that failure should not be glorified. We should learn from our failure, we should document our failure so that none of our predecessors, none of our ancestors, they will be again repeating the same kind of mistakes. But we should not glorify it like a celebration. Celebration means that some kind of advertisement or some kind of making other people notice that. Celebration and documentation, celebration and learning from it, celebration and slowly motivating yourself. Like my friend, my own peer, he has made terribly pointy after 33 active failures. If some novice is actually trying to come over and trying to join, if you are stopping him, if you are switching him, okay, no, I should hide that. Then what would have she learned from him? But did he celebrate that or did he say, okay, chalo, chai pee ke aise? She did not say it like that, okay?
Yeah, so you are telling that it has to be accepted, acknowledged, not celebrated. So again, we're being pedantic, but that's actually the difference. Good. Alright, so we are now entering the So we have some questions for the audience. It has to be a pointed question, exposing try to expose the arguments that speakers have made. All right. Now it's closing down.
Okay, so
One person from group.
So thank you for this wonderful platform today. So as we reach at the end of our debate, so let us just pause for one moment among this heated discussion and remember just one truth. The science is not built on perfection, it is built on persistence. And persistence means of repeated failures. And a survey says, the nature survey says that over 50% of research outcomes remain just unpublished because their fear of judgment and they did not produce the positive, only the positive results. Okay? So I think we are all familiar with this particular feeling as we are all research scholars and everyone of us in the hall can know this feeling that our experiment sometimes collapses, our instrument misbehaves definitely and the reviewers reject our idea and we feel very disheartened. But we do not stop there. This is not in our culture. The difference between quitting and continuing lies in our culture. It shows that attempt matters. Attempt reminds us our work. So as Nike says, it is not how we fail, it is how we bounce back. So let me just simply put that in one sentence. As scholars, just redefine success. Let us celebrate truth because the truth is, even if it is hard, still a progress and not an absence of failure, but it is the presence of truth.
Today, sorry to hear that my opposite mate actually just copying and pasting from document. Thank you so much.
You are also doing the same. I think you have more documented pages from this
That's
table as well.
Yeah.
Would you like to give us some?
No, not important. Please.
Okay, you can take hard copy.
So once again, I would like to repeat that failure is a teacher for all of us. It is definitely, but not a trophy. Is the failure ever what we are actually looking forward? Definitely, we should learn from failure. We are not against it. We are not telling other people like beat him, say him to get out from the room, get out from the lab, get out, nothing like that. But we are just saying a simple thing that can we just go ahead and again and again a long run for with failed research? Then where are we standing? If the bulk kind research was never been succeeded, in terms of medicinal field, in terms of environmental field, sir, if every time we get a failed research and if we keep pushing efforts towards it again and again without knowing that where it is heading actually, was it reach anywhere anyway? Was where we even able to be sitting here and saying this kind of, delivering this kind of speech? I don't actually think so, that it should happen like that. Other than that, like human minds are always like, people are often like, okay, if we start appreciating failure every time, people don't actually take it seriously. People will become gradually lazy, people will become actually not complacent, and will actually bury their self-confidence and also make them not at all accountable for what they have done. Like for any kind of disasters taking place at several plants, like media strategy. If people were at least a little bit serious, if they were taking little bit pressure regarding if I fail, what will happen if I fail? Then in that case, at least this kind of disaster have taken place. At least people would have been little bit conscious after putting their efforts. We are not against being failure. We are not against getting failed. We are just saying that we should not celebrate failure without any proper reasoning. Like people are being casual, people are putting reaction here and there, and their reaction is getting failed 33, 34 times. And they are celebrating it. What is the point of making that without learning from it?
Yeah, thank you. So that's very strong views from both sides. I hope some of you changed your mind during the course of the debate. Okay, so now we take questions from audience. So when you ask the question, you tell to which side you are asking the question and ask the question. Question or your point of view. That's audience law. Any questions? Yes, yeah.
Hello. So my question is from the left side. So my question is, I think there is some confusion between mistakes and failure. I mean, failure is something when a person do something with the best cognitive ability that guy has. So if he is doing a failure, it cannot be same as mistake. So I think mistakes cannot be celebrated absolutely, but failures can be appreciated, I think.
Yeah, so which side?
First thing, you are not doing enormous amount of troubleshooting. You put effort. After that, if it's not there, then you can decide to walk away from it or not. Not only mistake, it's the persistent mistake. When you are making the mistake several times, so that is actually
But
failure.
that will prevent us from taking on very hard problems where simply no one knows the answer.
Because that's why I'm telling you, because the cognitive ability human being have. Based on that, I'm taking the best decision which I am taking.
Yeah. Yeah, again we are coming back to the definition. That's a good point. Yeah. Any other question? Yes. Someone give the mic.
Yeah, hello. So
Which side?
Question to this side. I'll be questioning this side. So the thing is that, say suppose I am going in the wrong direction in the research. If I am allowed to publish that work or document that work in a certain journal or somewhere, so this is sort of celebration for me. And if I do that, that may save time for the next generation of scientists, right? The next generation would not be going in the direction if I am able to publish my field projects in field direction. So it is the same, right? We are unveiling the truth. Either failure or success in a particular experiment, we are unveiling the truth. My method works or my method doesn't work.
See, the main point is you are actually overlooked. The term is celebrated or not. We are not opposite, we are not going to oppose that failure, we are not accepting that failure never happens. We are against the failure, never be celebrated. So you can publish, you can go to wrong direction, whatever, because in research it is not accepted that you are trying at the first step and you will get the success at the very beginning stage.
So the thing is that if I get a positive result and I publish, I celebrate that. Why I celebrate? Because I have unveiled something new. I have unveiled the truth that was unknown to the world. If I do something wrong, if I fail in a certain experiment, my procedure didn't work, then also I will be doing the same thing.
There are some scientific journals are there which actually publishes the negative results. So these actually showcases that you should learn from that failure, we should learn, but not celebrate that loudly.
Okay.
One is denying the learning part. The thing is that we are unveiling the truth and that is
All right. Any other question to this side? But why will it not lead to the situation that people simply change the goalpost and failure becomes an excuse? Failure becomes an excuse. I mean, it's okay to fail.
So no sir, actually we are not talking about it's okay to fail. We are actually trying to say that in each cases we try to learn from our failures. Because failure is inevitable. We cannot just overlook that failure is never going to happen. Failure is obviously going to happen, and failure, it is not optional that we change the goalpost. So एक बार अगर failure हो भी जाए तो we can go चाय तो पी सकते हैं आप, definitely चाय पी सकते हैं.
Then come to us.
Sir, when you say fail, so what does really mean at fail? Who will declare that we will fail? Any institution or your colleagues or your society? Who will declare that we have failed? We can only say that if something is taking us towards better understanding, I mean more clearer picture, even if we fail in that direction, it is accepted.
That becomes a mindless pursuit.
No, I mean of course that's why I am saying that
The failure can be judged by setting the objective.
Yeah.
You set the objective, whether you meet the objective or not, that decides whether you failed or not.
no, I mean that is the very loose kind of definition of the failure. That's why our getting suicidal because they think that whatever the things they have set the limit, this is making them feel less potential. So that is the only cause that we are not expanding the, really going into the deeper into the definition of failure. That's all.
Yeah.
Like we all know that US President, the famous Donald Trump, he has already cut down funding in the research and development sector a lot. Like people are still in US, they are appreciating it just because people from US, they are getting jobs. That is why. Then if we just produce a lot of failed results every time and show it to people with this mindset, and then what will happen to US research? Like each and every time we are celebrating failure, we are getting failed, and we are celebrating failure, and we are even wasting that amount of money, that very few amount of money.
Resources are limited.
Yeah. Then what will happen to the actual practical research? It is already exhausted in US, and it will exhaust even more.
Yeah, she is of the opinion that we don't have actually the liberty of it.
Sir, then why Thomas Edison admitted that he has 10,000 time of failures before?
Because he had another 5,000 successes.
No, that's
no, that's a point. Yeah. Continue.
I just wanted to say that whatever Flora said, that company thing, I say the same thing. When every now and then I would like a little positive reinforcement from somebody, maybe a friend, maybe from my guide, maybe from my mother, maybe from anybody, so that I can continue going after so many failures, so that I can feel more, and so that I do produce successful
Save resources.
to save resources.
We need safety net.
Yes, because if people keep criticizing us for every now and then for our failures, then I will not have the courage to go on.
We will cut corners otherwise. We will not be able to transfer it. We will be trying to hide the actual results.
Any concluding thoughts? So what I understood is that we cannot avoid failure, but then we also need safety net. Yeah, so that we, even if we fail, someone is there to protect us. Oh yeah, you have question to this side?
No, open question is to me. I have one question. I am doing an experiment. Okay, in the first instance only I click it. Okay, but my friend, he had done 99 reactions. After 99 reactions, 100 reactions, after 100 reactions, he failed 99 times. But one time he succeeded. Now, but for me, it was the first time I succeeded. So, at the end of the day, whom you say that who has the better knowledge?
Why are you asking the question? You published it. So your question is, who succeeded?
At the end of the day, whom you think that who has the more potential, who has the more knowledge?
More knowledge, yeah.
Who has done the one reaction, who has done 100 reactions, but he failed 99 times, but he succeeded only one.
Okay.
But I succeeded in on the first instance.
Who got more knowledge?
Actually, he did not fail. Your friend who have tried for 100 times now, he actually found out that 100 ways to solve that issue. Okay. So both of them actually are okay. But if now the thing is to whom we can say he actually was getting to succeed. Okay. So that if we consider now your thing is your friend who have tried for 100 times his reactions. That means for that 100 time reactions he actually waste that money also. So you should also consider that money from where this money actually is coming from. That funds, right?
I'm sure after
I have wasted full money in my PhD life.
I can say you one thing that one success will never define my character.
Definitely, failure is accepted.
One success is nothing.
No, failure is accepted, but
profession, if nothing else, it teaches us one thing, that we are bound to fail and we also learn to live with it. Yeah? So that's thank you. Yeah, that's the professional aspect. Alright, so now we go to the next slide. Alright, so you already have seen this. So we already have received some responses. So those responses will be removed, deleted. So we'll restart it from now. So let's have a truthful voting. So you scan this QR code. Once again. Stop.
One second.
So your inputs are being time coded. So only after we decide when to start taking, only then it will be taken. So you are going to vote the best speaker as I have been from
দেখিনি আমি এখানেই ব্যস্ত আছি পুরো
so he may
ওই টেকনিক অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট ওভার হয়েছে
take left side, take right side.
নো সিগন্যাল
Alright, time starts now.
Let's give a warm round of applause for an inspiring and intellectually stimulating debate.